Well, I chose the Most High over her, and by the way, I know I got the better prize. I feel bad for my grandma because she hates living with my mom, in parentheses, because of her white wife. All of the family knows this. Her spirit knows that her wife is an evil ass witch. In parentheses, you should see how she has aged. Just looks exhausted spiritually, mentally, and physically. Talking about the wife. I believe she put a spell on my grandma too, and this is why her dementia has advanced at a more rapid pace. Thinking back, I was glad that I was there when Queen died and how we did her funeral arrangements. When we were at the funeral home, I made my mom go in the room where Queen was to make her peace and say her final goodbyes, releasing any bad energy such as guilt. I could tell that it did her some good too. We, in parentheses, Timberly, my brother Dewan, my mom, a few other cousins, and I were all in there with Queen. I could tell, parentheses, vibe, facial expressions, body language, and energy, in which I can read energy very well, that my mom's wife was against my mom going in to be with her sister at first, but I was not having it. See, black folk deal with death very differently than other races. In most cases, it's more of a celebration slash homegoing. I was not going to let my mom miss out on that private, intimate family moment of saying goodbye to her sister, my Aunt Queen. To be honest, I mourned my parents' death a long time ago because of the way they treated me, never apologizing and then being so absent in my adult life. This was why Queen's death hit me so hard. It was unexpected. I loved Queen like she was my own mom, and many times she was my ace. Like I said, my dad wanted me to lose everything only for me to come crawling back to him. I would unknowingly choose dudes like this so he could get satisfaction in kicking me while I was down, but the Most High said no more. I closed out these toxic cycles and I shan't be returning. I did do the go off on my family on Facebook and I feel good about it. I needed to release what I had been carrying for all these years. I am done carrying secrets and will listen to no more lies. I fear I'm a relic and I misplaced my tambourine. All my life, I have showed genuine, unconditional love to people who did not deserve it, especially my family. In return, they did nothing but try and dim my light. They make it seem as if I have a problem with them, but it's really them that have a problem with me. They project their insecurities onto me. Some mock my spiritual beliefs as well as my knowledge that I've shared in this book regarding my history. They called me a Facebook preacher. I never even wanted to be a preacher. This was before it was cool to be on Facebook teaching the Bible. Next thing I know, now I got cousins starting their own ministries on Facebook. In parentheses, it's cool when they do it, but when I was doing it, it was a problem. Teaching the Bible, parentheses, in which I fully support because I want to see my people win. Now I see churches putting their Sunday services online, cracking the fuck up, shaking my head. I told you, people will be jealous of you trying to shame you only to steal what you are doing so they can do it. Some are very jealous at how I am able to take control of my own life because they want to control my life. But no, and manifest everything that I want. Hashtag all praises to the Most High. People look down on me thinking I have it easy, but I didn't. People went to extreme lengths to try to destroy me. Parentheses, my own family even. Some people in my family that have went to college will look at me and say I get everything I want, but that's not true either. I want them to mind their own damn business, and I haven't got that yet. Cracking the fuck up. So busy trying to see how I do things, wanting me to have nothing but showing me fake love at the same time. Even some of my family that thinks that they are my faves don't think that I know how they play both sides. They act like they support me, but when they get around the other family, they turn on me and talk about me too. We really need to stop doing this as people. It's blocking our blessings and it shows that we are two-faced. Then they really wonder why it takes them so long to manifest because they too busy worried about me when they should be worried about themselves. As for me, I am genuinely happy when I see people win, but I know it's not the same in regards to when I win. My success means some people's loss, which is so weird to me because I just don't get how me being successful stops anyone else. It's because some people don't want to see me happy or successful because they are not happy nor successful, even though they put on a front for the people. Baby, I have been there and done that. I'm good. I don't base my worth off of others. I'm good. Even though I am chosen, I know what it feels like to not be picked. Called least because people felt I was weak, parentheses, or my favorite, naive, with me being gay, and of course made to feel less than from my youth even into my adult life. I know what it feels like to be taken advantage of because I see the potential in people, or I just want everyone to feel equal and have a good time, good vibes. I know how it feels to be viewed as a simp or a trick just because I gave expecting nothing in return. I know how it feels to love someone at first sight and leave with 10 swords in my back that I had to pull out with the help of the Most High. I have been used and abused, but you know what? I am no victim. I feel sorry for the people that treated me that way because I know that they are not healed, but I will live and not die. Did I seek revenge? No. Oh, I might have cussed a few people out, but I never sought to do harm because I know vengeance is my Father in heaven, who is Ahaya Ashar Ahaya. He is the only one that is good. You know what? At least he told me it would happen. I will admit, it still hurt as it caught me off guard. It's one thing to be told, but to experience it was another thing. In my Aunt Cynthia's voice, but God. I hope you read this and know that you can make it too. But you know what I didn't do? Let my experience of all the hurt from my family, former friends, co workers, CASCOM, and ex lovers turn my heart to stone. I did not resort to doing witchcraft, voodoo, Santa Maria on innocent people trying to bend their free will, even though many tried to do it to me. That is just flat out evil, but all praises to the Most High. Because of him, I prevailed. If it had not been for the blood of the Lamb, I would not be here. I know I was not easy to deal with, Father, and I'm sorry. But I just want to say, Tawada, thank you. Thank you for not allowing me to be a blood sacrifice for a wannabe warlock bound to a witch coven slash secret society. This is real, people. Please do not make deals with dark deities. It's not worth it. DJ Play Mama by the Spice Girls. I Remember by Madonna. A Song for Mama by Boys to Men. I think she always knew I was gay. She did ask me, did I have anything that I wanted to tell her. That night, she told me about her and her wife. I said no. I think at that time I was not ready to tell her, but she had to know because she did catch me up a few times for sure. Once was when I had used her eye mascara. I know, right? So embarrassing, but I said I was telling everything. We lived on Miles at the time. This was around the first divorce. This must have been on a Sunday night because I was about to go skating with Queen. I don't know how she noticed, but she did, and she asked why was I wearing it. And I said to make my eyelashes better. I remember her telling me not to do it again, and I didn't. Wasn't no why can I do this. My mom is not from this new crazy generation of explaining why to a kid. It was don't do it again, and that's that. See, I knew from an early age not to play with my mom because I seen her kick my brother Dewan's butt this one time. This was when she caught him after he ran because he stole her car. I already told you the story. Baby, I seen this woman lift my brother up, and my brother was not little. Like how Undertaker does when he about to choke slam people. Man, she handled him like a rag towel. I never seen my mom so mad, and that is when I said no to self. Don't fuck with mom. Oh, the other time was around my senior year in high school. One of my pictures from my BGC profile, 69 Cancer 69, was being used on a flyer without my permission. I was underage. One of her gay friends that she worked with seen the flyer, recognized me, and told her. She was pissed, of course, but I was too. Someone really stole my pic off my profile for their whack ass party in Cleveland, Ohio. I never really partied in Cleveland or Columbus because Detroit is right in my backyard. This was around 2004, 2005. We had to contact the promoters of the party to let them know I was underage and that the pic was stolen. I don't know what all happened, but I know they took my pic off that flyer. Anyway, I was telling you about my mom coming out to me when we lived on Revere Street in Toledo, Ohio. I remember feeling like, how can you be mad at her when you're gay as well? At that time, I couldn't understand my feelings. It was just hard to process seeing my mom with a woman when I had seen her with my dad all of my life up until that point, but eventually I got over it. For a while, I felt like she ditched me to go start a whole new life. I was not even a witness to her union. At the time, it felt like she had seen a way out in which she took it, and that is okay because this is how I learned how to fight for myself. It was kind of like being thrown into a lion's den, going back to live with my dad. But I refused to die, and that is my attitude today. One thing I always vowed is I will never quit. I will fight until the last breath in my body. I have fought and prevailed too. All praises to the Most High. I wish she was still able to work and not be dependent on her wife. My mom suffered a neck injury and a knee injury, so she doesn't work anymore. My mom always says she doesn't want for anything and she's taken care of, but I think of her future. I have my worries of something happening to her wife and her being left alone. These are not my burdens to carry. I feel like I have given so much that I owe no one anything. This is why I have to make it and become successful so I would never have to be taken care of. I had to make sure that I would never give up and I would fight to the end. These are my parents, in which I do respect and love them. This is another reason why I wrote the book. This is that talk. All I can do is pray for my parents. I read the Bible and discussed what I know to be true with my parents. One Sabbath, Saturday, I spent 4 hours on the phone with my mom and I read to her out of the Bible, Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68, King James Version. We talked. I have tried to talk to my dad as well, but most of the time it turns into an argument. I love a good argument, but when the other person seems like they are under a spell of some sort and starts disrespecting me, what's the point? I posted for years so hard on Facebook that, trust me, my family knows where I stand when it comes to the Bible. Speaking of family, I'm not done introducing my brothers and sisters. Next is my sister Erica. I think she is 5 years older than me. Erica is a phenomenal woman. I always say we have the same smile. If I did have a favorite sister, it would probably be Erica. She really is a beautiful person inside and out. She is so inspirational. Tanika and Erica grew up together on the east side of town with their mom, but they were always over to the house on weekends and holidays during school, during the summer. Excuse me. Most of us was raised together besides Dante and Angel. Dante did not come over. Angel maybe once or twice, but I would see Angel almost daily, either at our grandparents' home or up at the kitchen for the poor, which was my grandfather's ministry, his soup kitchen ministry. So I never really seen Dante growing up. I always felt like my dad could have did more in regards to them, Dante and Angel. We all grew up together for the most part, and one thing my dad did not play with was the half brother slash half sister stuff. With me knowing what I know today, it just proves that we are Israel even more. The reason why my dad felt that way is because that is the right way. He got this way of thinking from his Israelite ancestors who knew that we are ordered by our father's bloodline. This is biblical. This is why the woman takes the man's last name in marriage, and the children carries the man's last name most of the time. So the only one we all agree to call our half brother is Mike. Just kidding. Now this is also my sister Angela's mom, and their mom is a nice lady. Of course, I was not present, but legend has it my aunt Rosalind introduced my dad to their mom. They were friends, I believe. Some say it was because my aunt, did not like my mom's side of the family, and others say it was not like that, and my dad was trying to get with their mom. Who knows what really happened, but my mom loves Tanika, Erica, and Angel. She always looked at them like her own and asked about them all the time. I have never disliked or had anything bad to say about the girl's mom, Dante's mom. Let's just say I did get whipped by my dad for dogging Mike's mom one time. Anyway, I'm very proud of Erica and the woman she has become. She's a wife, a mom. I love my little niecey Pooh and nephew, and an entrepreneur. Erica is the only one who sent me pics of my niece and nephew. One time I was in Facebook jail. I was blocked for posting for a month, and I had not posted. Erica was the only one to come check and see if I was alright. I love her. I love Erica and Tanika's side of the family, like their grandparents and aunts and uncles, like Debbie and Marvin, cousins Sunny and Summer. Love them. They were all pretty girls, very intelligent. Erica taught me how to do a cartwheel. Again, this is two big families that all know each other, mixing and intermingling. Coming up, my sisters were all the girly girl types. They would always go to the malls and even worked at the mall. I think Erica worked at Baker's. I think they all worked at Baker's. I know they all wore the boots. Erica, Angel, and I were Erica, Angel, and I were carried all the way from Toledo, Ohio to Whately, Alabama one year for a family reunion on my dad's side of the family, and baby, throw the whole trip away. Man, we were crammed in my dad's small ass Jeep Liberty. It was the most uncomfortable ride I have ever experienced. The funniest memory I have is the one time our dad and my mom went out of town somewhere. Erica was at the house. I don't know where Tanika was, and I was in my room lying on my bed. In my room, I would peel the paint off the walls. Don't ask me why, because I don't know. Well, a chip of paint somehow landed in my eye and damn near put my eye out. I ran into the front room and yelled Erica's name. Her back was to me, so it scared her. I didn't do it on purpose, but I think she jumped because she could tell I was panicking, in which I was. I was bad as hell. I will admit one time, years later in my adult life, I was dating a guy that lived in the apartments that my sisters grew up in on the east side. The apartments are nice, and he had a one bedroom, but for the first time it made me think of what their life was like when we were not together. Being at the apartments made me think of my sisters, and it truly gave me a sense of pride seeing them flourish. My only regret I had with Erica was not being able to make it to her wedding. She was such a beautiful bride, and her husband is really cool too. Next up, we have my brother Michael, aka Young Money Mike. He is either 5 or 4 years older than me. This dude was from somewhere else, man. Where should I start? In my opinion, this was my dad's favorite son coming up. He gets all the girls and has all the fast money, according to my dad, who has the love of Christ. Rolls eyes, cracking up. Today, after everyone grows in wisdom, I believe he is the one my dad worries about the most. My dad does help with his kids. I remember one time dad told me how he brought my nephew some shoes, some Nike Air Forces at that, and Mike asked him why he didn't buy him some J's, some Jordans, shaking my head. But I honestly feel like Mike is a part of my dad's karma. My nephew Mike's son looks like Mike, but he is stocky like my brother Dewan, and even looks a bit like Dewan. The savage genes are very strong. How can I put this? My dad did have a hand in raising Mike. He just couldn't really get a handle on Mike due to other influential people in Mike's life. He was over at the house on weekends, holidays, and summers, just like Tanika and Erica. This is the brother that got my bike stolen because he's out at some girl's house and doesn't replace the bike. Mike went to Vegas with us. It was Dewan and me, our mom, him, and our dad. These fools, Dewan and him, were trying to order girls out the book. Shaking my head, they were some hounds. I do remember telling Mike one night that I was gay. He was sitting on the couch and I was on the floor. I was still young at the time because I remember Dewan was living in the back room. Mike was shocked and I was shocked at him being shocked because I was like, well, y'all call me gay all the time, so how are you so surprised? Like, what the fuck? He told Dewan and I remember Dewan, Mike, and I talked about it. It was just them telling me I'm not gay, you know, the normal stuff. I can't remember if this is what prompted my dad to take us all out into the garage, but it probably was. I love my brothers growing up. We really had some good times. I did love it when Mike came to the house. It made miserable times fun. One time it was Mike, Tanika, Erica, and Dewan and I at the house. My mom and dad had went to Mexico. They always took trips to places like Miami, Key West, and Mexico. My mom went to Jamaica with her white friends. We as a family went to Alabama, the most boring family reunion ever. New Orleans, Arkansas, Oklahoma, a few times. Well, when my parents went to Mexico and underage Mike pulled a gun on a crackhead, the lady would the lady would later tell my family at the soup kitchen what happened. Mike was always doing crazy stuff. He lit an M80 explosive, which is like a quarter stick of dynamite in the house, which went off and literally rattled the windows in the house. One time he taped an M80 to a Pepsi bottle with gas in it that he lit, threw it in the field next to us, and the field caught on fire. A man came and put it out by peeing on it. Mike would climb through the school windows in his PJs. He was off the hook. What I don't get is that Mike is no dummy. He's very books slash street smart, and I mean very smart. I always tell people he is away at school. I am just glad he is not dead, and I pray that he will wake up one day. I'm sorry I never once wrote to him. To be honest, I would have, but I don't know how to write to people away at school. Anyway, he also excelled in baseball. He was really good to the point where I'm sure he could have gotten a scholarship to any college. My dad tried to get him into the union, but yeah, it just wasn't his thing. I think he has 4 kids. I love his sister Nisi and his grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. Armour.